Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Pitman Training presentation with myself, Paul Lewis. I'll do a proper introduction in just a second. The title of my little talk today is When Heritage and Innovation Collide, Choosing a Business with Reputation and Innovation. So, without further ado, let me introduce myself. And it's my aim to try and give you some value over the next 20 minutes or so. I know a thing or two about franchising and a thing or two about starting your own business. So I will do my utmost to give you some valuable insights to take away. So, as I mentioned a moment ago, I'm Paul Lewis. This is me on the screen here, if you hadn't guessed already. QFP stands for Qualified Franchise Professional, so it means I've learned a thing or two about franchising. 16 years or so I've been involved with different franchise companies. Retail, high street retail, education, brands, and consulting B2B franchises as well. So I've been around a few blocks, and I can safely say I love franchising. I'm involved with the BFA as much as I possibly can. I was one of their regional forum chairs last year, and that was great fun, trying to coerce and encourage a whole group of other franchisors. I'm currently managing director for the Pitman Training Group. I'll talk a bit more about that. We're owned by Launch Life International. On a personal side, I'm married, 3 children, family man, keen runner, as the funny picture up there will attest. Snooker player, if anybody's ever heard of snooker, it's a little bit like Paul. And I'm a football fan, but I shall not tell you that I support the MK Dons. So, I mentioned Launch Life is the parent company for Pitman Training, and Launch Life is a global brand of education companies, and we deploy our businesses through a franchise model. Why? Because we love it. Why? Because it works. So we've got nearly 300 units around the world, 300 locations around the world, and they are all franchised, so individual franchisees in over 30 different countries. And Pitman Training is one chunk of that portfolio. There you are, the green dots, the light green dots are Pitman Training, concentrated in the UK and Ireland, but we do have locations across Middle East, Africa, and further afield. So, I won't spend too long on this slide here. I'll give you the slides afterwards. Just suffice to say that adult education right now is booming. So the government and society generally has put the spotlight onto adult education. Lots of people, a record number of people, are looking to change careers. They're looking to switch industries, which is something that we help with at Pitman Training. Also, this whole working from home post-pandemic, people realise they haven't got the skills they need, the digital skills, to perform their jobs. Because it's not like working in the office when you can say to your colleague, hey, how do you do an Excel formula again? Or how do you create a macro? Your colleagues aren't there, you're at home alone. So people need digital skills, and that's largely what we offer at Pitman Training. This is our timeline, our heritage, if you like. We as a brand have been around for nearly 200 years. Even as I say it, I'm still amazed. So way back when, Sir Isaac launched Pitman as a concept, shorthand writing methodology. So this meant before computers, before keyboards and laptops, you could still write in shorthand hundreds of words per minute, which is way more in excess of normal handwriting. So, but true to that heritage, 200 years later, we're still giving people the skills to become better at their jobs and better in their careers and ultimately better in their lives. So you can see our journey here through the ages. We opened colleges through the 1900s. We played a big part in post-war movement and bringing women and lots of people into the workplace, giving people office skills and administrative skills so they could perform tasks that were typically only performed by men prior to that. We joined the BFA in 1992. That's really, really important to us. So we've been a full member of the BFA for 30 years and something that we intend to keep going. And we've opened locations around the world. We've now got over 80 locations, as I mentioned a moment ago. And exciting times ahead. Launch Life International acquired Pitman Training back in 2019 and have put investment after investment after investment, mainly into technology. One thing I will say is, whilst a heritage brand is wonderful, and we're really proud of our roots, 1837 when the concept was invented, it's important to move with the times. It's important to innovate and embrace technology. So this is something we've done. We didn't want to become that dusty heritage brand that people associated with the bygone era. So we've invested a lot of money staying current and moving with the times. So here are just some sound bites. We partnered up with the BFA in 1992, we became full members. I mentioned the 80 training centres. We're also recognised as a British super brand, and we've been awarded that status for consecutive years now, 7 years in a row we've been awarded super brand status, along the likes of Oxford University and Cambridge University in the field of education. So it's fair to say we're a global leader in providing adult education and training. Okay, just wanted to share some statistics with you as well, because when you're looking at joining a franchise, joining a brand, you want to know that it stacks up. So do your due diligence, make sure you check the numbers and check the validity of the claim coming from that brand or that franchise group. We've got nearly 1 million visitors to our website every year. I've said in excess of 800. I would have loved to have rounded it up to 1 million, but that's really important because that generates leads and inquiries that we can send out to our franchise network. On average, we're sending about 500 inquiries, hot inquiries, to our local franchise partners. And then it's up to them to convert those inquiries, as well as doing their own local marketing and really owning their town locally from a lead gen perspective. We're big on social media. I mentioned we didn't want to be that dusty brand, so we've really invested in social media to stay current and to access an audience that maybe wouldn't find us on a traditional website. So we've got over 22,000 followers on Facebook. We're continuing to increase those followers and increase that traffic as well. We've seen year on year improvement in our revenue. When I say our revenue, I mean our franchise partners' revenue. All of our effort goes into supporting our franchisees to grow. We train now, we support over 30,000 people on an annual basis. So in some form or another, whether it's a small course or a fully blown award or a fully blown diploma, we are helping more than 30,000 people. On average, 75% of people achieve their desired outcome within 6 months, whether that's a promotion at work or whether that's a complete career change or a brand new job. And who are we looking for? So I guess it works both ways. You're looking at whether Pitman Training is a viable option for you, and we're looking at you, our prospective franchisee, as to whether you can be a great member, a great partner in our network. So we're looking for somebody who has a passion to change lives, a passion about education and training. There are no real prerequisites. You don't need to have been in training before or been in teaching before. You just need that passion for helping people to change their lives. You need to have drive and flair to create your own business and run your own business, but also get behind the brand as well. The one thing that joins us all at Pitman Training is the brand and that love for changing lives and transforming careers. You also need business development acumen. Business development acumen in terms of owning your town and generating inquiries, getting out there and being part of the community and getting involved in different initiatives locally, so people know, oh yeah, Pitman Training, they're trying to help everybody, they're really on the scene now. You need excellent people skills, you need to be able to manage a team of people in your training centre, and obviously you need to support hundreds of learners coming into your business as well. And what do you get? So in return for the franchise fee investment, you will become part of our world-renowned brand, as I've mentioned a few times. Our curriculum as well is what sets us apart from pretty much every other training provider. We've got over 250 world-class training programs in an array of different areas, so ranging from administration and office skills through to IT and digital marketing, and then we're really pushing into this IT and digital space in terms of software development, web development, data analytics, to name a few. We will provide you with all the training, we'll provide you with all the support to be successful. You'll have all of our IP. I've mentioned we've been in existence for nearly 200 years. That's an awful lot of IP. But above all is the brand. when you're looking at buying into a franchise business, really test and challenge how strong that brand is. Now, not every brand can be around for hundreds of years. That's not the be-all and end-all, but just try to understand how strong that brand is, how well known it is, whether locally or nationally. That makes a big difference, and it's fair to say Pitman Training is extremely well recognised. I would estimate at least half the UK population will know of Pitman Training through some shape or form. They may not know why they know it, but that's just how embedded we are in British culture, quite honestly. We help our network massively with digital marketing. I've mentioned that a few times, but you're not going to be on your own. When you're looking to start a new business, one of those scary things is, can I perform the marketing? Will I get any inquiries? And will I be able to sell? People don't worry so much about the delivery, because I think that's the bit most of us are comfortable with, but we will help you with all of it. All the marketing, lead generation, the sales, the conversion, and the delivery. So we're going to help you every step of the way. I just wanted to mention as well, we've got some strategic partners that we work with. So at head office level, Pitman Training Group level, we go out and we bring partnerships that we're proud to work with, but that can bring students and inquiries to our franchise partners. As I say, it really is a franchise partnership. We will do everything we can at a national level, and we rely on our franchise partners to do everything they can at a local level. So one of those partnerships is Amazon. Amazon have come up with a concept called Career Choice, and this enables every one of their full-time members of staff to access career development, career training. And I guess that's because they realise that their workforce in the fulfillment centres especially, they don't want to be working in a warehouse forever. They don't want to be moving boxes around forever. It's also quite tiring work, long shifts. So they invest back in every member of staff thousands of pounds so they can go off to places like Pitman Training and have an opportunity to do that training to pursue a new career. So we're really proud of this partnership, and just in this last year we've trained nearly 2,000 of Amazon staff and given them a chance to really transform their career and change their lives. So just a few case studies, Michelena and Ramo, who were working on the warehouse floor and they're now in totally different careers. I think in Michelena's case she's now become a web developer, and in Ramo's case he's an advanced IT support technician. So there you go, a little bit different from working in the warehouse. We also have partnerships all over the country with NHS trusts, and this is something we're really proud of. Especially during the pandemic, we were doing our bit in a very roundabout way to kind of help the NHS to kind of tick as well as it could. So we're talking about clerical staff, not necessarily nurses and doctors, but the clerical staff and admin staff are encouraged to come along to Pitman to learn better skills. We teach fast typing, we teach minutes and meetings. We also teach the Microsoft Office suite, which is embraced by the NHS, and we make people more productive in their jobs, frankly. So that's something we're really proud of, and a few case studies there. Also, when you're looking at buying a franchise, I would really challenge the marketing effort, the marketing support coming from that brand. Fair to say, and I couldn't squeeze it all on this slide here, but we provide a lorry load of support to our franchisees. There's not a week goes by where we're not creating an asset. Now, it could be, as this shows, it could be some social media assets, some kind of postcard, digital assets you can use in your email campaigns or your Facebook, Twitter or Instagram campaigns. We create blogs and newsletters, we create articles. We've recently, about 2 months ago, we were on ITV News, and that's something we were really proud of. They invited us on. Why? Because of the brand awareness. They were aware of Pitman, so when they thought they wanted to cover a piece on the lack of digital skills in the UK post-COVID, so who's helping with that? They knew that we were doing our bit to help people upskill with these digital training courses, so we featured on primetime ITV News, and we're really proud of that. So we're always providing marketing support to our network. The business model, very, very quickly, in return for your investment, which is £40,000 for a territory in the UK or Ireland, you will get a 5-year franchise term with a free renewal, by the way. So we're following the standard practice in the UK. The BFA are certainly advising that 5 + 5 is the normal approach. we're really talking about single franchise license. We do talk about masters and areas if you were looking to go internationally, but here in the UK and Ireland, we would be talking about a single franchise license for 40,000. That gives you exclusive rights to the brand in that territory. So I mentioned earlier, you own that town, and that's as true as it sounds. We make sure that your territory has got at least 250,000 people in that population, because we know from a demographic point of view that as long as you've got at least 250,000 people in your territory, you can be wildly successful. I've mentioned about the multiple income streams. I talked about Amazon, I talked about NHS, so we do a lot with corporate, but most of our revenue will come from private individuals, people like me and you who have decided they want to make a change in their lives, and they come and they enroll with Pitman Training. We also get some funded business as well, so we may support some of the government initiatives to provide people with training, and we also make some passive income through exams as well. So our wonderful training centres double up as exam venues for people. So your total investment will be somewhere in the order of 80 to £100,000, depending on what part of the country we're talking about. That's including the franchise fee of 40,000. The remainder, 40, 50,000, is to help you find a premises and make it look amazing, the initial refurbishment, the equipment, the computers, the technology, the marketing, the staff. So to get the doors open, and you'll have some money in the bank within that figure as your working capital. We are cash generative very, very quickly. There is no reason that you can't be making money on day one. The quicker we sell training courses, the quicker we can put money in the till. And in terms of funding your business, we have good relationships with UK lenders who are more than happy to lend because you're a Pitman Training franchisee, and that's something to keep in mind. If you were doing your own startup business, never been heard of, the banks would probably be quite reluctant to lend, or you'd have to put up a lot of money yourself. Whereas with Pitman, there are good options available because it's a solid, well-known franchise. Now, I talked about the training centre a few times. I use the term state-of-the-art because when our students walk into your training centre, their first reaction has to be, wow. So the images on the slides here, I hope they give you that impression of wow. You've got really clean and crisp. You've got wonderful technology, so we use dual monitors, which people would not ordinarily have at home. We use wonderful branding. We have heritage throughout, so you may be able to see this Sir Isaac Pitman. He features in every single location, so we can tell people the story and how it started. So that's what we're talking about. Now we will pay for and organise the design concept for your training centre. So that's something that we throw in because we enjoy doing that. We'll help you find the premises, and when we both fall in love with the right one in the heart of town, then we'll move forward and try and get that open as quickly as possible. So again, partnership, we work together. I just want to talk about our product structure. So this is what we're selling to our marketplace. We sell training courses in the form of individual courses. We also sell awards, which are a small cluster of training courses. Maybe if somebody wants to move into a particular job, so they might do one of our awards like the Finance Award, or maybe the Medical Admin Award, or something like this. A lot of our students go for the fully fledged diplomas because these will be 10 to 15 courses, and these truly set people up for a new career, a complete changing career, and we leave no stone unturned. So I mentioned a few of them earlier, but some of the really popular ones right now would be web development and web design, software development, data analytics, and medical administration. That's extremely popular and has been for a long time. So that's our product range. Increasingly though, we're doing more and more for the corporate space. So we're doing seminars and webinars for big teams of company staff. We try to do that in our training centres, but on occasion we'll go out to the corporate premises, and sometimes we will train people online as well. So lots of different angles to our portfolio there. I also want to talk about accreditations. Again, when you're looking at investing into a franchise, see what partnerships the brand has, see who they're aligning themselves with, and also have a look at whether they've won any awards or they've been recognised for the work that they do. So talk about ourselves, Pitman Training. We're a full member of the BFA, and in fact we've just gone through their rigorous re-accreditation. So despite being a member for 30 years, we had to effectively reapply and prove to the BFA that we were worthy of our full member status. Suffice to say, we did get awarded our status for another term, but that's really important to mention. We're also recognised by Elite Franchise as one of the best franchise groups in the country. In fact, we're the #1 when it comes to adult learning and training. So that's something we're really, really proud of. And just this year, we snuck into the top 40. So of all the different franchises in the UK, and there's nearly 1,000 by the way, we're named in the top 40 by Elite Franchise. So we're really proud of that. And they've even called us one of their rising stars. And then just on the bottom there is some of our accreditations. So we're recognised by AAT Accounting, we're recognised by CompTIA IT Training, we're recognised by ICDL, the International Computer Driving Licence, Microsoft, and the Digital Marketing Institute, SAGE, and every one of our courses as well comes with a CPD accreditation. So the CPD Standards Office recognise that if you do a Pitman training course, you will automatically get CPD points to put on your CV. Really powerful when you're applying for jobs. Now, the name of this presentation was When Heritage and Innovation Collide. So I do want to talk about technology. I mentioned our parent company, Launch Life International, consider themselves and all of their brands as EdTech. It's a bit of a new term, I suppose, but education technology gives you EdTech. And since Launch Life bought the Pitman Training brand, they've done nothing but invest into the technology side. And the timing of this could not have been more perfect, because we made all those investments in 2019, and just as the dust was settling on 2019, we all knew what happened in early 2020. We ran headfirst into COVID, and what it meant was, because we'd put together a brand new CRM system and a brand new learning management system, we were fully ready, not that we knew that, but we were fully ready to cope with the pandemic and putting our business online. So in fact, our inquiries spiked during the pandemic, because what did people do when they were kind of stuck at home? Once they'd made enough banana bread and got bored of doing that, everybody decided they could get productive by training, reskilling. A lot of people were facing career changes, or maybe an end to their job if they were being made redundant or on furlough. So we had loads of activity going on during COVID, which was great, but thank goodness, because of our technology that we had there. Our learning management system, which I've mentioned, is called My Pitman. We love to put the brand at the forefront of everything that we do, and that houses all of our courses. And so if you're a student with Pitman, that becomes your environment. You log in, whether you're in the centre, which most of our students will be, or maybe you're studying at home, or maybe at work, you will have your own dashboard, and it will already be preloaded with all your courses and all your modules. It gives you audio instructions, video instructions, you've got a digital workbook, PDF, and it's very, very intuitive. So this is something we're really proud of, is our product development as well as our technology. And we talk about our approach to learning as being self-paced, self-directed. So if you're thinking you needed an army of tutors, think again. You do not need tutoring when you take a Pitman Training course or a Pitman Training diploma. Why? Because our product development is so strong and everything is so intuitive, self-paced, self-directed, which in other terms means virtually anybody, if they log into our My Pitman system, if they follow the step-by-step, they will be able to navigate through the courses without a problem. Now, we do have learning coaches. That's a key member of our team in every single training location, is a learning coach. Similar to a personal trainer at the gym. So this person isn't going to be there lifting the weights with you, but they will be encouraging you and motivating you, checking in on you if you haven't come into the centre this week, making sure that you're okay. If you look like you need some help, the learning coach will always swoop in, answer any questions that you have. So they're really, really good pair of hands in every training centre. Now, I want to share something with you as well. This year, we've been shortlisted by the BFA and HSBC as one of the finalists for the Digital Transformation Award, something we're really, really proud of. I mentioned Pitman Training maybe a couple of years ago was a little bit dusty. I don't think we could have shown off as much technology or as much innovation. So we've been on a bit of a journey to make sure that we are at the forefront, and there we are picking up our finalist certificate only a few weeks ago. We'll find out at the end of this year whether we have won the award or whether we are a runner-up. So we're really proud of that. And what the BFA said to us, they recognised, is that we've made tons of investment. We've got the network on board as well, because change is not about bringing in a new piece of software or bringing in a new innovation. It's about getting people on board, getting people with you on that journey. So that's something we apparently did very, very well. We brought in surveys, we survey our franchisees, we survey our student base as well. I've talked about the other learning management system and the technology we've invested in there. We've put in brand new products. Just this year we've launched 4 or 5 new digital products for our students to enjoy. Why? Because we can see that the labour market and the hot prospects, job prospects, are all in the kind of cloud architecture, IT support, cyber security. So these are the products we've just recently launched. And I'm nearly finished with my presentation today, but I'd like to talk to you about franchisee validation. In other words, don't just take my word for it. And whether you're looking at Pitman Training or another franchise brand, do your due diligence, do your homework, speak to other franchisees. The franchisor is a great source of information and data, but don't just take it at face value. Don't believe everything that you're provided with. Speak to franchisees. So I've put 2 of our franchise partners on the screen here. We've got Chris Weil, who he actually owns 8 Pitman Training Centres across the UK, concentrated in the Midlands, but he started off just like you, so he invested his £40,000 to buy Birmingham. He made a very quick success of his training centre in Birmingham. He opened number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and his ambition is to get to 10 because he loves the business, loves the brand. He's still a relatively young guy, and he tells me quite often when he gets to 10 and he hits his kind of targets, he'll then look to exit, because you've always got to have an exit strategy. Whether you're starting a business, you've always got to be thinking about the end game and what it is you're trying to achieve. So that's Chris, and you can see him there enjoying life with his family. So despite running 8 businesses, he still strikes a good work-life balance. And then we've got Joy Renshaw down here, Pitman Training Brighton. Now Joy's one of our longest serving franchisees, so if you're wondering if Pitman Training works or not, ask Joy. I know she's just gone past her 20-year milestone, so I think that's testament to the kind of longevity of a Pitman Training franchise. She loves it. That smile you can see her wearing never ever fades away, and she actually achieves the most referrals in the whole of the Pitman Training network, in a little place called Brighton. But that's just because of her eternal positivity. Anybody that walks into Pitman Training in Brighton and meets Joy, she leaves an impression. And she does a wonderful job in that particular territory. I mentioned earlier about owning your town. Joy is living proof that she does that from a Pitman Training perspective. Okay, so franchisee validation. In our case, you'd be very welcome to visit a number of Pitman Training Centres as part of your due diligence, but also so you can imagine it. You know, when you walk into a location, you suddenly, wow, yeah, this could be mine. This is what I can build and create in my local town or territory. So definitely meet franchisees and visit locations. So thank you for listening today. I hope I've given you some insight on franchising and how to select the right franchise for you. I hope I've given you a good explanation of what Pitman Training is all about and why we're so passionate about transforming careers, changing lives. Thank you very much.